know more about art. My name is Miriam Usman, and before we go further on this program today, let me start by telling you this very interesting post from Edak Degas. He said, art is not what you see, but what you make others see. And that's why we've taken it upon ourselves every Sunday by 4 p.m., I beg your pardon, we bring you artists from different branches in visual art to tell you more about the importance of visual art. This program is brought to you by Prince Yemisi Shillong, legal practitioner, Africa's largest private art collector, grand donor and chairman of Council Yemisi Shillong Museum of Art, and also the grand patron SNA Ogun State Chapter. I will be introducing our guest as well as our topic on the conversation after this break. Please stay with us. Good to know that you're still there watching World of Art on OGTV. Before we went on that break, I told you this program is brought to you by Prince Yemisi Shillong. He's the reason why you see this program every Sunday by 4 p.m. Now today we are taking a close look at how to study art formally and informally, or in every way you can study art. And we have people on the program today who are art educators. They've had series of years, they've had years of experience in teaching art, and whatever they say on the program today is one I want you to take very, very serious with, because this is directly from the horse's mouth, of course. I'm being joined by two gentlemen. I'm always pleased to have you on the program. On my far right is Dr. KEHINDE BADARU, and I have Dr. John ADENLE. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir.
Thank you for having us on your program.
Yes, compliments of the season.
Same to you.
The last time we saw you here was like last year.
Yes. Yeah.
So before we go into our conversation today, did you do any practice at the course of the celebration? Because I know it was a month for gifting, and a lot of people gifted items thereabouts. So what was it like?
Me, myself?
Yes.
Usually every December there are some less privileged we share food stuff to in my community. Okay. As a family.
Okay.
Then as a member of the Lions International Club, we have a program in December also, which is Feeding the Hungry. We donate foodstuffs, package them, and take them to the identified location to share to people.
All right, let's start our conversation today. We're talking to take a look at the study of art. Now, I know one can study art in different ways, but as a professional in this industry, I want you to take us through it. You know, what ways can one start by learning art?
Thank you very much, our presenter. Art can be learned, and somebody may be gifted. If art cannot be learned, it will not be in the school curriculum. The fact that it is in the school curriculum, that means it has created a platform where people who are interested in studying that subject can come in and acquire the knowledge. The acquiring the knowledge can be formal or informal. For those who decide to go to an institution to learn it, they will be taken through the formal process of teaching and learning. But if you decide to go for the informal learning, that means you will go to an art master, you sign in as an apprentice, you understudy him. That one takes a lot of time. The art master determines when you graduate. It's not schematized. There is no time frame. And your proficiency while you are learning determines how quickly you graduate. If you learn fast, the master can be impressed. He'll be giving you some assignments that will to test your skill. Then he will now say, okay, this guy is ready for graduation. And the truth of the matter is that most informal masters do not want to graduate anybody that will go to the market.
I was going to say that you are at the mercy of your master before you graduate.
They don't want to graduate anybody that will go out and mess up the profession. So they make sure that you must have dotted your I's and crossed your T's properly while you are under their tutelage before they will say, yeah, you can go. In our institution, it's quite different.
Yes.
If you pass the exam, meet the promotion requirement, you go to the next level, until when finally you do your graduation. But not everybody that graduates from our institutions can practice on their own.
All right, I'm going to have Dr. ADENLE break it down for us now. Dr. BADARU said you can learn art the formal way or the informal way, and you mentioned going to school and serving under a master for the informal. Now, let's start with you breaking down the formal way of learning art.
Okay. Before I go into the formal way of learning art, let me just add to what he has said. There's a synergy. There's also a period of the two coming together, because it's like we have some students in primary school now and their parents want them to learn. So sometimes some of them will have been exposed to the practice informally. Then they now go to school and also study. So you can see the synergy between the two. It's not like the two of them are isolated.
And
these days,
what of sometimes when you do not have the background, the talent or anything? Because we've had a lot of callers and people sending messages, oh, I'm calling from this place, how can I learn art? Yeah. Some of them are even graduate of another course.
So, learning art, he has said, well, we have people who are talented, but that percentage is very small. Everybody is created to be inquisitive and be creative. Now, interest is what matters most. You have interest, you are willing to do it. If you now see somebody who will put you through, you see the creative ingenuity will be developed and will be growing. So interest is, for anybody who is interested, he must have interest in that course, in that subject. That's all he needs, he or she needs. And going to the mentor, the person who will teach, or going to school, secondary school to study it. We have teachers also in secondary school who will do a lot of teaching, practical things, and all these things will form the basis for that person who wants to learn art. So interest is very germane.
So there's interest.
Yeah.
So when I have this interest to study art formally, what do I need to do?
Now, you have interest to study it formally. You must have gone to secondary school, or you have your GCE certificate or WAEC certificate, having 5 credits, 5 credit passes.
What are those 5?
5 credit passes, English and mathematics, very, very important, very compulsory. But they are in 2 parts. Formally, you must have visual art.
You must have done visual art in secondary school.
You must have done visual art in secondary school. That makes it 3. Then any other 2 subjects. But recently, the artists and the curriculum planners and the professionals are thinking of, they have even made ways for that, made case for that. We have institutions now who are taking only English and maths, then any other 3 passes. That 3 passes could include physics, chemistry, Yoruba, physics, chemistry, and technical drawing, or visual art, chemistry, dyeing and bleaching. We have all other subjects that can be added. So we have many institutions now that are taking English, maths, and any other 3 subjects. So whether you are a science student, because we have science students who are doing fantastic when they come into art. They do well. So we have any other 3 subjects, including mathematics and English.
This time is a time where these young people are either registering for WAEC, NECO, or JAM. And this whole issue of mistaking subject for a particular course has been a serious problem.
Exactly.
Even up to a few weeks ago, I was discussing with one of my cousin's children, and they were just telling me some kind of mix-up, and I felt really bad. You could discuss this with people and you know more. So let's still bring it back to the subject selection. Yes, there are people who think, since they don't have these visual arts teachers in their school, they still want to study art. That is what I'm saying, that the hurdle, that problem is removed now. Let me give you an instance of OAU
OOU, that's Olabisi Onabanjo University, TASUD, and some of the universities we have, including UNILAG, we have already removed visual art, the compulsion of visual art. We have removed it because if you have interest, you can be drilled, you can be trained, you can be groomed. So the problem is removed already. They should not anticipate that problem with the new set of curriculums in all these institutions that we are running. That problem is removed, as I'm telling you.
Okay.
So there's no compulsion of any subject to come and read visual art. But the basic thing is that they should consult.
Yes.
Yes, they should, at the point they want to register or they have registered, they should consult people like us, those people in higher institutions, like he is the HOD of his department. If they consult him, definitely he will give them the real information, the adequate information that will make them to enter the university.
So from what you said now, there is no importance on government, literature, what's the other course now?
Where we may have that problem is the institution, only few institutions that are still saying this one is social science subject, this one is a science subject. When you have that bottleneck, people are caught, they are weeded off. Those who are qualified, there was a year, I was the admission officer, a student did 3 art subjects, English, mathematics, he couldn't enter. He has visual art, he has CRK, he has Yoruba, he could not enter. What happened?
We have a caller. Thank you, Samuel, for joining us.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
If I want to study art, and I'm a science student,
yes,
where will I go?
All right, thank you so much, Samuel. That's a wonderful question.
It's a very good question.
He's a science student and he wants to study art.
That is what I said. Like before now, like LAUTECH, you could go there and do your BSc art. Am I right? Yes, you can go there with science subject.
In LAUTECH?
Yes, in LAUTECH. There are many institutions now, OAU, where they do not compulsory, make visual art compulsory or any other subject compulsory. He will be able to enter.
As a science
As
student.
a science student, yes. The provision is available now.
Now, you mentioned of LAUTECH. That's like a university for technology.
Yes, science-based.
And they welcome arts.
You want me to talk about it?
Okay.
Yes, please.
Incidentally, when he was mentioning LAUTECH, I was smiling because I did my PhD in that institution.
Oh.
LAUTECH is an institution that is a little bit quite different from others. In 100 level in LAUTECH, no matter your choice of course, everybody must do general drawing. You must be able to draw as an engineer to put your ideas on paper. Medical drawing is there for medical students. You must be able to draw anatomy. Engineering drawing is there, fine art is there. We have even discovered that even after 100 level in LAUTECH, some pure science students want to cross to fine art.
Wow.
Now the thing is that the ability to draw helps other profession. That is why it is important that we expose our young ones while they are going to school. Even at the early education stage, to develop manipulative skills, we must expose all our children to drawing. In the nursery school, in the primary school, you see them, they will giving them colors. They started identifying shape by coloring.
Yes.
And while they are coloring, they are developing manipulative skills of their little muscles, so that they will be able to be creative when they grow up. Now, for admission, he has said it all. It was those days that we are so stereotyped about you must do this subject before you can be admitted. I want to make a case for JAMB. JAMB is the supervisory body for admission in all our tertiary institutions. But JAMB does not set admission requirements for institutions.
True.
You is the institution that will send to JAMB for my department of this. These are the subjects I want. JAMB will now harvest all those submissions and put it in the bronchial. So most institutions, like he said, they have left that thing not updated. Exactly. In my own institution, we have updated it. And the rigidity of saying you must pass fine art is no more there.
I think that would be a very good time for you to probably suggest institutions that these students can apply to when they want to study art and tertiary institutions, especially for universities?
Like you said, it's important for students who are willing to study fine art to seek counsel.
Okay.
They have a teacher in their secondary schools.
Exactly.
They must have been looking up to a mentor in the society who is an artist. And the world is a global village now. You can get all the information on your Android phone. If you want information about Unilag, you just pam, it's there. What is the admission requirement? In fact, these days, students get cutoff point for their post-jam online without going to the school. What is the cutoff point for UniJOS? It will show you.
Of course.
Then you can follow up. So most of our students that are looking for admission should not be too stereotyped, and they should not be complacent. They should ask questions. Language was invented so that people can communicate and pass message to ourselves. It's not just for the fun of it.
My next question would be, does studying or learning art from a university guarantees how good you can be in the practice of art?
The answer is relative. It depends on the individual.
Okay.
There are some, I will be sincere with you. There are some students that come to the school just for want of what to do. Instead of me sitting at home, let me just go and do this course. Those ones, that attitude in their mind affect their performance when they are in school. There are some that have made up their mind that they are going there to excel. You see, when you have a mindset that because I didn't get admission for this, I didn't get admission for that, let me just go and do it. If you don't set yourself free from that compulsion, you will discover that what they are teaching you, you may not be at your best. I told somebody I never offered fine art in secondary school, but I knew that I had interest. So I sat for GCE as an external candidate. My first year in the College of Education was my first year in an art class. So it was a little bit difficult because I was so determined, but I kept struggling. Once you put your mind there and you kept putting in what it takes, move with those that can influence you positively. In an art class, if you know you are poor, move with those that are better than you. You pick some skills from them. But if you just resign to fate, and whatever I do, I will just, no, things are not done that way. So if you are really interested and you go to the institution, the thing is that the knowledge you acquire in school, by the time you graduate, you may decide to apply it to another area of fine art expression. Okay. I know somebody that did painting in the university, for example. As I'm talking to you now, she's practicing textile. But when you see her colors are more mature and not that of an ordinary textile artist. She has been bringing the idea of color mixture, color combination from painting into her textile designs.
Before we go into the informal way of learning art, we still have under the formal method of learning art, we have the university, we have the College of Education and the Polytechnic. So let's talk about College of Education and Polytechnic. You just mentioned that you also studied, or you started the study of art from NC. So let's take it from there.
Basically the curriculum at the College of Education level prepares you to be an art teacher. Okay. But it's not compulsory that when you graduate, you must go to the classroom if you don't wish. But if you so wish to go to the classroom, good. Because from year 1, year 2, your workload is also include education courses. You will take in the College of Education, we have applied art in one group, we have fine art in another group. You take all the 5 branches plus artistry and art education in 100 level and 200 level. By the time you get to 300 level in the College of Education, you will now pick one from the applied arts, which include graphics, textile, and ceramics.
All right. I'm going to have to cut it short because time is really not by our side. Adi from Ijebu is asking the next question I want to ask you now. How can you learn art informally? Now, he started earlier by saying you learn under an art master, but we need you to develop that part for us.
Okay.
Let's know more.
Learning art informally is also like learning it formally. The only thing that in informal learning, there is theory aspect that is also there. But we have practical, the practice out of it in formal and informal. And informally, if you're learning that, you watch. You have to watch, then the master will demonstrate for you. Because when you are there, like when I went to learn something, I won't tell you. When I was small, I would be watching the master. You watch the master do those things, and eventually he gives you and say, okay, go and do this one. Now he's testing you. He wants you to replicate what he has done. That's part of the step. So learning from what the master does, or taking you through, you following that example is key in in informal learning. The master do it, and you also, the master does it, and you also do. That is how it is. And that continues until you are able to stand alone and add 1, 2, 3 together. Initially, it will give you a set of those skills. For instance, you want to do this, sew this cloth. He wouldn't tell you to sew it. He will tell you, go and stitch the button.
Yes.
He will give you buttonholes and say, do this buttonhole. Bit by bit like that. After some time, maybe after a year, he will tell you, take these 2 pieces of cloth. Join it together for me. All those steps, they are very key. It will register permanently in that child. So the basic thing is that following the master and learning through the tutelage of the master, what the master does, you replicate it. Sometimes the master will not even tell you, go and do it, but because you have seen it being done, you secretly, when you get back home, you will replicate and practice it. You fail. Sometimes you do it roughly, but you are learning. The one you do initially that is worst, keep it. 10 years time, you will discover that it's going to sell because it's your raw ingenuity.
First attempt.
So it is learning by watching the master and learning by doing what the master asks you to do.
So this learning by what the master does could last for years, because for the formal education, it's 4 years compulsorily.
Yes.
For the informal now, it has no stipulated time.
It doesn't really, because he watches you grow. The master watches you grow and develop. You have done this project today, you are there together, you did it for 3 months. You are doing another one that is different, you are doing it 3 months, all those things, sometimes a particular job may not come for 3 years. And that person needs to get that skill in that area. The moment somebody comes and brings that job, the apprentice must key into that skill, the methodology of doing that particular skill. So it continues until when it finishes.
So you're
until
saying
when the master is able to say, please, I'm going somewhere for next 1 month. I won't be able to come. And he will be able to, he's testing him. He said he's traveling, but he just want to leave the shop for him and watch him from a distance perform all the tasks. And at that time, he will be satisfied and say, okay, this boy has been able to release him.
not everyone would have the resources, the time of going back to learn arts. Okay. If you want to go to the formal way, that's going to the university, polytechnic, or college of education. So for those who might still want to do this, want to fall back to the informal way, the way of learning through the master. How many of these masters do we have available now?
There are many.
Okay.
In thousands. You know why? Some people are graduates. They are master holders, but they are professionals. They are practicing outside. Okay. Because they are not in a government paid job. And government also has done it very well. In your 4 years or 5 years program, there's a period of COS. You must interact with the world of work. You must go to the company to go and experience it. So it's a blend of the two. That's why I said they also learn. There's an apprenticeship method also infused into the education. So you cannot pass through school without that.
Thank you so much, Dr. John ADENLE, and thank you, Dr. KEHINDE BADARU. This has been a very wonderful session, and I trust our viewers are catching one or two things for themselves. Well, unfortunately, this is how far we can go. Time is really, really not by our side. Again, I want to say thank you for coming. We appreciate you. Thank you, Doctor. Please send our regards to Society of Nigerian Artists, Abeokuta branch. With that,
Ogun State branch.
Yes, Ogun State branch. Thank you so much. With that, we've come to the end of this week's discussion on World of Art. Next week is going to be another time where you get to interact with our guests, and be rest assured that our guests will be very, very much prepared to serve you hot topics on the program. My name is Miriam Usman. This program is brought to you by Prince Yemisi Shillong, legal practitioner, Africa's largest private art collector, grand donor and chairman of council, Yemisi Shillong Museum of Art. Yemisi Shillong Museum of Art is at Ekpe Road. If you need to visit the museum, feel free to check more on the museum and get more details. Thank you so much for watching the program. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.